Hi, in this video we'll learn about linear search algorithm. We'll also implement a code in C. So what is linear search algorithm? So it's a simple method of finding an element. The element that you're trying to find, we'll call it as a key. And the set in which we are trying to find the element, let's call it as a list. So this method will help us to basically find the element in a list by sequentially comparing each and every element. So let's assume that we have got some set of elements. In this case, we have some integer values. And what we will do is we'll store this integer values in some data structure. So we can have an array data structure and we can store all the values in array. Or we can also have a list structure wherein we can store these values. Now in this example, I'll be using array to explain you the linear search concept. In the next video, I will use a list example to implement the same linear search algorithm. So let's start with an example where we have an array, and let's name that array as data, and each element is stored in an array. And let's say we input a key value from the user that we would like to search in an array. So let's say 13 is a key and we would like to search 13. So what the algorithm says is that you start the comparison from the first element in the list. So I'll compare 13 with 10, and since it's not equal, so I will go ahead, I'll compare with the next element. I'll compare 13 with 3. It's not matching. I'll go ahead, I'll compare 13 with 30. It is not matching. We'll go ahead, and now we'll compare 13 with 13. And in this case, you can see there is a match, and we found the element. And the moment we found the element, what we can do is we can announce that the element that we required exists, and we can terminate the search. So that's one example wherein the element is there and you are trying to find the element. Let's take one more example where we are trying to find a key element in the list. So in this case, let's say 45 is the element I'm trying to search. And again, I'll start my traversal from the 0th element in the array. I'll compare with 10. It's not equal. We'll go ahead. We'll compare with 3. It's not equal. Again, we'll compare with 30. Not equal. We'll compare with 13. Not equal. And last, we'll compare with 34. And at this point, we have exhausted with the search. We have traversed the entire array and we were not able to find the element. So we can stop and announce that the element doesn't exist in an array. So you can see the algorithm simply says that you simply go on comparing each and every element until you find the element. So let me write a program in C wherein we'll declare an array and will accept an input value from user and will implement the linear search algorithm. So I have opened Visual Studio and here I'll write a program for linear search. So I'll just put something in comments. And we'll start with including the header file we require, and what we'll do is we'll declare the array, say some 5 space, and as of now let's put some values in the array. So I've got some random values in the array, and let's declare a key element and we'll accept this value from the user. So we have a array with default values, and key will be accepted as user input. Okay, and later we'll convert our code wherein we have an array of dynamic size, and we'll accept the values from user. So the input you can create the way you want. You can hard code the input, or you can accept the values from the input, or you can read the input values from a file. However, the algorithm very much remains the same. Well, in this case, I will prompt the user first to enter the key value. I'll say enter the key value to search, and what we'll do is we'll read the value. So I'll scan up and read the value in key variable. Now once I have the value, what my algorithm will do is it will iterate the array. It will try to traverse the array from the first, that is 0th index, till n minus 1. So, and for traversal, let's have a element. Let's call it as an element as a counter. So I have a counter variable which will be initialized to 0. So we'll have a counter variable to iterate array. Next, we'll write a loop that goes from 0 till less than n. That is from 0 to 4 in this case, and n will be a variable that will hold the size of a array. So that's the size of array is 5. So we have n variable. Okay, I'll say stores size of array. We can also calculate the size of array, but right now I'm directly hard coding it. And what we want is we want to check if data of counter will be starting from 0. So first we'll search with data of 0, and if it is equal to key, well, in that case it means the element we are trying to search is there. And what we can do is we can break the loop. But if we break the loop and if we come out here, how we are going to understand whether the element was there or not there? I mean, whether the loop terminated from here or whether the loop terminated from here. So one way is to check whether we actually entered this if statement. We can have a kind of a flag variable and we can initialize it to 1. And before we start the while loop, what we can do is we can have a flag variable with value 0. That's one way of doing it. A flag is just acting as a marker saying that we entered this if block. So I'll declare a flag variable. We can also implement a logic without a flag variable. I'll show you that too. And we have a flag variable declared. So before we start the loop, we'll initialize the flag variable to 0. And if this if statement becomes true, we just set the flag to 1. And let's say if the statement is not true, well, in that case we cannot directly write else saying that element doesn't exist, because then we would like to iterate and check the next element. So I'll just increment the counter. So counter will be incremented, it will go again, check the condition again, try to compare the values, and this loop will go on. And once the loop is terminated, either from year or year, out of the loop we can just check if flag is equal to 1. And if flag is equal to 1, we can say the loop terminated from here. And in that case, the element exists. I can just printf saying that element found at position, and we can give the counter value, nothing but the index at that point in time. Else we can print saying that element not found. Okay, so that can be our program. Now let's build the code. So I'll just build the code and we'll debug the code line by line. So I'll run the code, and now what I have is I have some watch variables. I have got a data variable, so you can see runtime we are getting some values. So data variable is initialized to some values here. Now how to get this watch window? If you are confused with that, it's quite simple in Visual Studio. And if you are using some other IDE for development, you can check how to see the runtime values. In Visual Studio, it's pretty simple. You have got debug, and in that you have got window, and you can look for watch window, and you'll get the watch window. And watch window, you can define the variables that you would like to watch. Like I would like to watch data which is an array of 5 elements, so it shows me that. I would like to watch a key variable, I'd like to watch a counter variable, I'd like to watch a flag, and let's say n variable. So I'm trying to watch all these variables, and as the program goes ahead, you'll see the values are getting initialized. So n value is initialized to 5, and we'll accept the key value from user. So let's say key value is 13 entered by the user. So 13 is a key to be searched, and we have a flag value which is set to 0. Now what we'll do is we'll compare the counter with n. So counter is 0, n is 5, yes 0 is less than 5. So the condition is true. Now it is checking data of counter. Now what is data of counter? So if I say what is data of counter, so data of counter, since counter is 0, so data of 0 is 10, and it's comparing with key, that is 13, and it's not equal. So it goes ahead and increments the counter by 1. So counter becomes 1. Again it comes and compares 3 with 13. So it is comparing this value with 13. Okay, and the element is not equal. It will go ahead, increment it, and now again it will compare. Counter is 2, n is 5. The condition is true. Now it is going to compare. Data of counter is 13 and key value is 13. So you can see the element is found. So it will make the flag 1. The flag is changed to 1, and it will terminate the loop. So it comes out of the loop, and once it is out of the loop, it checks is the flag 1, and it sees the flag value is 1, and it says element found. So you can say element found at position 2 in an array. And now why position 2? Because index starts from 0. So this is index 0, 1 and 2, and the element exists, and then the program will complete. Now what we can also do is we can write the same program without using a flag variable. I'll show you that. So I will remove the flag variables from the program. So I'll just remove this. We'll remove the declaration also, and we are assigning value 1 to it. I'll remove that, and I'll remove this check. So I've removed the flag variables from the code, and now let's fix the code. So if you see the if condition here, the condition remains the same, and it will break the loop. So we won't change anything more here, and we'll try to analyze when the statement comes out of the loop. There are two possible cases. One is because of this condition became true, or the other can be because of break statement. Now when this condition can become true, when counter value is equal to n or greater than n. It means what? If it is less than n, it simply means what? It executed this if block, and because of break statement it came out. So I can say that if counter is still less than n, it means what? It terminated from here and not here, and it means element found. So it is simple. So we are just analyzing the memory values and taking a decision accordingly. And let's also run this program. So we'll again run the code. I'll just remove all this, and we'll just monitor important things. Like I like to monitor key, I like to monitor data of counter, and that's it. So our program will run step by step, and here I'll take a key value as 13 again, and here in loop condition is true, it is comparing 10 with 13, it's not equal, counter plus plus. Now it will compare 3 with 13, it's not equal, counter plus plus. Next it will compare 13 with 13, the element found, and it breaks the loop, comes out. And in this case, if you see the value of counter here is 2, and the value of n is 5, which is greater than counter. So it means what? That the loop terminated from here and not here, and it means element exists. So I'll say well element found and will display element found at the position 2 and the program terminates. Next, we'll also run a scenario where an element doesn't exist. So we'll again run the code, and in this case what I'll do is I will give the input value, key value, as let's say 100, and 100 is not there in the array. So if you see the array elements, you don't have 100. So let's see how the loop goes. So first it will compare 10 with 100, it's not equal. Then it will compare 3 with 100, not equal. Compare 13 with 100, not equal. Compare 35 with 100, not equal. Next it will compare 2 with 100 and not equal. And counter is now equal to n, and the loop terminates. And when the loop terminates, obviously counter value is equal to n and not less than n. It means element not found, and the program completes. Now let's discuss the performance of the algorithm with respect to its time complexity. So in the best case scenario, the time complexity will be big O of 1, wherein the element you are trying to search is the first element in the array. And if you think about the worst case scenario, there are two possibilities. One possibility is that the element you are trying to search is the last element in the array. In that case, you do n comparisons. And also possible that if the element doesn't exist, in that case, also you will perform n comparisons. So the worst case scenario for this algorithm is big O of n. So thank you very much for watching. Let me know your thoughts in comments.